Everyone, welcome to Knicks Bros TV. Right now, it looks more like a Knicks Bros radio channel where we're going to be doing a podcast with me and my brother. We're going to do a little bit more of these segments, especially in the off season for the football season. We're going to talk a lot of Giants and Jets. Keep you guys in tune of what's going on in the free agency. I know we're a little bit late on the free agency situation, but we were kind of hoping that it would kind of clear up a little bit in the quarterback saga that the Jets are going through. But since it's not, we're going to go ahead and give you guys our input of what's going on with the Jets quarterback situation, and also we'll talk a lot of Giants football. So if you're a Giants fan, you're subscribed to this channel. Stay tuned with us, and we'll definitely keep you guys input. Right off the bat, I'd like to go ahead and introduce the other half of Knicks Bros TV. Damon, go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another session of our Knicks Couch Report. It's been a little while, but as my brother mentioned, we've been a little bit busy, and off season really much going on, but since there has been some notable signings and notable negotiations. We decided that we're going to go ahead and put up this video. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and hopefully we hear a lot of comments and we hear your opinions about both teams.
So let's get into the quarterback situation, where it seems like it's always a situation on the green and white side of New York. Ryan Fitzpatrick, heck of a year last year, threw over 20 touchdowns, had himself probably one of the best seasons Ryan Fitzpatrick has ever had in his career. I consider his career to be very up and down. He had a couple of good years in Buffalo under Chan Gailey, and obviously Chan Gailey united itself with Todd Bowles last year, and Ryan Fitzpatrick had a very positive outcome on his season. Mike McKagan, the new regime, I feel like are doing a tremendous job with the Jets free agency, and I am on the Jets side of things right now. I really don't feel like Fitzpatrick is worth what they're asking for, $12 to $15 million a year. I feel like $10 million or $9 to $10 million is reasonable, but the Jets obviously right now are offering $7 million to Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I like how we're holding our ground, because I just don't feel like he is worth that much. D, what's your take on Ryan Fitzpatrick and the quarterback contract issue?
Well, the question is not what he's worth, in my opinion. Right now, it's what the market, commands. When a team like Texans give a quarterback that only has 5 games in his pocket a $72 million contract for 4 years, I'm pretty sure Ryan Fitzpatrick, which he is probably at the end of his career at the age of 33, he's looking to cash in for another year or two, to retire after that. So, as much as I don't believe that 12 to 15 million that he's looking for, or on some reports 15 to 18 million that he's looking for, is absolutely not reasonable. I believe that also the Jets are way lowballing him at 7 million right now. With that in mind, that he had one of his best careers last year with 31 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, over 3,900 yards of passing. So I think, at this point, they should come onto agreement to something between, I would say, 10 to 12 million a year, probably for 2 years max, and get the deal done, because, the Jets should know they have an old team, and the next couple of years are very important years for them. And without a decent quarterback, this team's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, I think they should, come up with that money for a couple of years and test their chances, because Revis is not going to be there for long. Marshall is not going to be there for long. And, so they are built for now.
I agree with you. They're built for now. I mean, we are the 6th oldest team in the NFL at the moment. I think before we can analyze the Ryan Fitzpatrick situation, we got to look at what are the direction options for the Jets at the quarterback position. We drafted a kid named Bryce Petty last year, hoping he can make a strive to become a starting quarterback. But obviously, it just seems like he's not moving up the depth chart. I don't know exactly where we stand with him because there's very little information coming out. But my only question is this: is okay. I know for sure that Ryan Fitzpatrick, when we signed him, he was to only be a 1 or maybe 2 year quarterback. But he obviously had an amazing year last year. But my question is, all right, where do we end up? I mean, if we sign Fitzpatrick, would Bryce Petty be able to lead us to quote unquote have a franchise quarterback, or is it going to be the Kaepernick deal, where I at first liked it, but when I sit and look at the Kaepernick contract, I mean it's insane. He signed a 6 year, over $114 million contract, where he still has 4 years left, and rumors have come out where he doesn't want to reconstruct that deal, and that's no way in shape or form do I want him to take do I want the Jets to take on that contract. The other one that makes sense to me for a little bit is, all right, if Fitzpatrick's going to be stubborn and not wanting to sign, where I think he's making a huge mistake because he does have that chemistry and connection with Brandon Marshall and Decker and the offense and whatnot. I mean, everything's made for this guy. Is probably going to be the RG3 thing. I mean, I know he's injury prone. I know that he's probably not the smartest quarterback. Definitely, he didn't have the offensive line at all in Washington. Maybe we'll be able to provide that here. I'm not sure. But looking at this New York Jets team, I agree with you. We can't sit and linger on, okay, let's wait another 1 year or 2 year. I mean, we signed Matt Forte for a reason. We brought Brandon Marshall in here for a reason. We signed Rivas for a reason. So we're definitely trying to win. And if it takes for us to sign RG3, I'm okay with it. But again, my number one choice is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, I know you're a Giants fan, and I know you've seen a lot of matchups versus RG3. What is your take on the Jets, expanding their idea of quarterback to a RG3? Because I would rather take RG3 over Brian Hoyer any day. And again, I'm bringing up this RG3 thing only if Ryan Fitzpatrick is not an option. So what do you think about the Jets expanding to RG3?
Um, to be honest, I mean, like you said, I mean, he played in our division the first year, which was his rookie year. He was pretty good. He was a very good quarterback. Accurate, running the ball. But after that, we really didn't see much from him. And he's been out of football for a year or so with injury, and you really don't know where he stands. Even if the Jets go sign him, the first year of his contract probably is going to be a wash for him to get used to the offense, to build some chemistry. Um, and even after that, there is no guarantee that RG3 is going to be anything close to what he was in his rookie year. And if he can't give you that, then RG3 really doesn't have anything to offer to your team. Do you really want to take a risk of wasting a couple of years of the team's time and people, the players' time, which might not be there in a couple of years. Marshall might not be there in a year or two. Rivers is not going to be there in a year or two. Some other players are not going to be in a year or two. So are you going to go? Is that the direction that they're going to go? Waste time of the fans and the players. Bring in a quarterback that you are not going to know what you're going to get from for a couple of years and then start rebuilding again, or you're going to pay a player that really played sensational for you last year, a couple of $1 million more than what you think he's worth, and bring it in and give this team a shot to make it to playoffs. Because making it to playoffs, you guys were close last year, and I think by making it to playoffs, you never know what's going to happen. Last year, if you guys made it to playoffs, as flaw, as so many teams had so many flaws, that the Patriots, the weak team that we saw in Broncos, even though they had a great defense, but offensively they were not that much of a challenge for you guys. So I would have thought that if you guys made it to the playoffs last year, you would have been able to make a move. So I just don't see the team going out there wasting the time and the money on RG3 or anybody else just to start everything over, lose a couple of years, and then they have to rebuild again. Instead, you go ahead and give this guy a couple of $1 million extra than what you think he's worth. I mean, the market really commands for him to get like 17, $18 million a year, you know? And if you can come to a agreement of 11 to $12 million a year, yeah, go ahead and sign him. Give your team and your fans a chance to be excited about, and make the moves to playoffs and hopefully do something.
That's the team's perspective. If you think about it, not even Denver's budging to sign Fitzpatrick for that price because they know the same thing we know, that this guy's 33 years old. He's not worth that amount. Only a
Yeah, it's
desperate team like
different now.
Houston.
See, it's different though. The Broncos are not gonna budge to him because they know when he goes over there, it's gonna take him time to get used to that offense. They're gonna waste another year or two. You know.
Well, that's just it. He's 33. He doesn't have a year.
So that's what I'm saying. That the Jets got to pay him
so
close to what he deserves.
Let me ask you this question. Let's just, because again, my number one thing is Ryan Fitzpatrick. I want him to be our guy. But let's just say he's not going to sign with us for that deal. We're not going to budge. What is the best decision for the quarterback position for the Jets? Because obviously we can't draft another quarterback.
No, if he's not going to budge,
if you're Mike McKagan, what's your next move?
Well, you don't have a next move. The only players available are like Brian Hoyer and RG3. And
so would you pick RG3 over
either
Brian?
One of them you're gonna sign? You're gonna be bad. Okay, so sign whoever you want and just tank the year. That's gonna be the plan. If you're not gonna get Fitzpatrick, tank the year so you can pick a quarterback in the draft.
So let me ask you a question. RG3 at his peak, RG3 with a good offensive line, RG3 with weapons like Decker and Brandon Marshall and Matt Forte as a running back and actually a really good defense. Not saying significantly amazing defense, but pretty decent defense. I mean, could we see something more out of RG3 than we have the past 2 years in Washington?
I can't tell you if you can or not.
I mean, I'm just saying, as an opinion.
I can tell you what kind of player he's going to be. He's been out of football for a year, and even before he got injured, he wasn't playing well. So, I can't tell you what you're going to get out of RG3. I can tell you if he can build a chemistry with Marshall and Decker. I can tell you how long it's going to take him to build that chemistry. And like I told you, Marshall has mostly a year or two left, and Revis got a year or two left. So that's the direction that the team got to think about. Are you going to take the chance, to go for another mediocre year or two, or you're going to sign Fitzpatrick and try to get into playoffs and try to make it, or you sign Brian Hoyer or again RG3 and tank so you can draft a quarterback. That's something that the team has to decide on. As somebody that watches the Jet and somebody that's a New York fan, I would like to see them to try for another, playoff, pay a couple of $1 million extra to a guy that they might think worth 7, give him 9 or 10 or 11, and try that playoff, bring that excitement back to the fans, as they've been excited since last year. Let's keep that going. Let's try for another playoff. The Miami Dolphins are improved.
I don't buy it.
Yes, they are improved.
I don't buy it. I don't buy anything Miami does.
Doesn't matter whether you buy it or not.
I don't buy anything Miami does. Let's get into.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. But in fact, on paper, they are improved.
They always look good on paper.
You always know the Patriots gonna be there. I don't know so much about Bills with the Rexy boys. But so if you guys don't make the move, you're gonna be back at second in your division or third in your division, and and you're not gonna make it again. Besides, the same story for Jets fan every year.
Besides the Fitzpatrick deal, I mean, overall, I just feel like it's been a pretty decent offseason. I like the replacement of Ivory to get Matt Forte. I think they're similar running backs. They both are good running the ball, and being able to catch the ball as well. Be able to help the quarterback out in a receiving position. Do I feel like I feel like it's a little bit of an upgrade in that position compared to Ivory. But I mean, as far as us franchise tagging Wilkerson, I knew we had to either give up Wilkerson or Snacks. I'm kind of glad we did give up Snacks over Wilkerson just because how efficient Wilkerson has been. He was probably one of the most consistent player last year as far as getting to the quarterback and being able to sack him. So I'm glad we were able to do that. But let's see how it kind of unwinds. Let's get into the Giants discussion. They were one of the teams that this offseason, along with the Oakland Raiders, that were able to make a lot of noise in signing players. They signed Damian Harrison, ex-Jet. Definitely needed that upgrade. They also signed Jamaris Jenkins from the Rams. It was a 5-year deal, $63 million. Oliver Vernon from Miami Dolphins, 5 years, $85 million. Also, we talked about D. Harris's signing as well. The Giants, threw money at players, and they have all the right to do so because that's what the market set. The currency goal. Players were being they threw money at players. Osweiler got that huge deal from Houston. No matter what, they did what the Jets did last year. They went out there and literally bought a new defense, something that the Giants significantly needed, especially on that defensive line. My number one question to you is how much of an impact do you think these signings have on the Giants going to next season? And how well do you think your defense is going to be able to perform, going to next season as well?
Huge impact, man. Huge impact. I'm excited. I'm excited about this defense. The front four looks like, you're going to have JPP, Oliver Vernon, Snacks, and Hankins. Who's not going to be excited about that? That's basically one of the best four front line, that you can have in football. So I am excited. I'm excited to see it. We knew that Jay Rice was
on a hot seat.
On a hot seat, and Jay Rice, sorry, and he went out and he did what he should have done before. We had a horrible defense, and he just bought us a new defense. Yes, we overpaid for some players. I agree. There's no question asked. Oliver Vernon, wasn't worth what he got, and Janoris Jenkins, got overpaid. But it's the market. I can't help it. If the market demands, if we weren't giving them that type of money, somebody else would, and we would have been out of luck. So what the Giants did, they went out there, they bought the best players available, and they overpaid them. Yes, they overpaid them. I'm glad they overpaid them. And now they are Big Blue, and they are playing for the Giants. Our secondary is considerably better. Janoris Jenkins, I'm not saying Janoris Jenkins is by any means a lockdown corner, but he is a good corner. Much improvement over what we had last year. I think him on one side and Roger Cromartie on the other side can present matchup issues for the other teams. Our front four is going to be incredible. Oliver Vernon, JPP, Snacks, Jonathan Hankins. Even linebacker-wise, I think we made a good signing by signing Keenan Robinson to a one-year deal, $2.6 million. He's a high-risk, high-reward type of player, that kind of improves our linebacker core. Sorry. Our linebacker core, I still think they have still a little bit of issue, but I think with the addition of Keenan Robinson, a little bit improved. But you know what, guys? How did the Giants won the 2 Super Bowl? Front four, front four, front four, front four, right? We had O.C. Manira on one side. We had
Michael Strahan
on the other side. We had Justin Tuck in the middle. So with that said, we are kind of what we are replicating what we did in those years. We are bringing Vernon, and we are bringing Snacks, and we are bringing JPP back, and we got Hankins. So You know what? I am excited about this team.
My only goal, my only question is, what type of JPP are we going to be able to see next year? How significant is he going to be next season? I mean, the Vernon deal I think is pretty amazing. Um, I brought this up to you last time when we spoke. Is he reminds me a lot of a young Humaniora in his prime. I mean, the way he moves around, how agile he is, how he has an eye for getting to the quarterback. I guess the other thing is I know a lot of Giants fans should be really excited to see this. Is Cruz being able to reconstruct his deal to remain a Giant? This is going to be the first time, hopefully, if healthy, this is the first time where Cruz and Odell Beckham Jr. are going to be on the same side of the football to be able to be weapons for Eli Manning. I mean, how excited are you to see that going into next season, D?
Oh, very excited. Listen, I mean, I couldn't be any more excited about the Giants. I mean, the Giants' offense. I mean, as much as I'm excited about to see how that defense performs, I can't wait to see how Odell and um,
Cruz.
Cruz will perform. Together at the same time on the field, which I think it will be incredible. There's one concern that I have, and the Giants haven't addressed that yet, and that's a left tackle on the offensive line. I would like to see an improvement on that. I would like to see the Giants sign somebody for that position. So I think if the Giants just make a little tweak and improvement on the offensive line to give Eli just a little bit more time with having those weapons on a
Would you draft that position?
I don't think so. I would actually go get established, left
Well, they
tackle.
missed out on Penn
Yes,
today.
I
He signed with the
know.
Raiders.
They did, but they are looking. Looks like they have put an offer for Russell Okung from Seattle. They're still waiting to hear from him. I think if they are able to improve that position just a little bit and give Eli a little bit of more time with those weapons on the field, this offense is gonna be nasty. This offense is gonna be fast. This offense is gonna be uh, great to watch. And with having a decent above average defense, hopefully, this team can go somewhere with the way the division is right now. I think with a little bit of good coaching, a little bit of luck on our side, less injuries, we should be able to win the
Well,
division.
that's just the next topic. Is obviously the Jets are in a very difficult division. I mean, it's been a difficult division the past 2 years, and if you want to talk about the Patriots' significance for the past decade, that's always been a problem. But as far as the NFC East is concerned, Washington has yet to really make any moves. I don't even think that Cousins deal has been final yet.
No.
So that's not final. So they're sitting on basically the same team, even worse because they have a question mark like the Jets at the quarterback position. Then you have a Philadelphia Eagles team where literally they went out and sold half of their team and traded half of their team. Really, their safety went down to Miami. Mark Sanchez, obviously the backup quarterback, went to Denver. They're kind of in a cleaning up process. They basically rewinded everything that Chip Kelly has done on that team. And the next one is the Dallas Cowboys. Again, no improvements in that team. I think the number one question for the Cowboys is, are they going to be healthy going to next season? I know you brought this up last time we spoke. You said that you don't feel like Romo has any significance anymore. Do you still feel that way? And which team do you feel like is a threat to the New York Giants next season?
I don't know. Like you said, I haven't really seen improvement, but I think it's still um, the threat to the Giants is gonna be Washington if they go ahead and get agreement with the cousin. They still have a good team. I think Washington could present problems. Um, you know, uh, Cowboys defense was good last year. I mean, their offense was hit with lots of injuries, especially Romo. But even I think Romo coming back, I don't think Romo is the same Romo again. As he was a few years ago. I don't think the Dallas would put up much of a fight. In my opinion, I think our biggest challenge is going to be Washington. But you know what? Like I said, this division still is wide open. So I'm just hopeful with the improvement that the Giants made on defense and offense. Just bringing back Victor Cruz on offense and hopefully getting a left tackle, and God knows what we'll be looking for in the draft. Hopefully, these improvements will put us on the top in our division. Going into the playoffs.
So let's go through the 2016 schedule. First, we'll begin with the Jets. Again, we really truly need a quarterback. I keep bringing this up because we can't really bank on our defense to pull us through, especially to take us to the playoffs. Because as much as we went out there and we literally bought a new defense, and we sat there and we talked about how amazing our defense was going to be. I mean, our defense to an extent disappointed. I mean, we still had a solid defense, just not what I expected. I expected more out of the defensive line last year with Snacks, Wilkerson, Leonard Williams. And at the same time, I expected more out of our defensive backs. But Cromartie obviously didn't perform, and that's why he's no longer part of the team. I wouldn't mind bringing him back at to reconstruct that deal to maybe 1 year, but I would love to see Milner or Williams to get a starting position at the opposite side of Revis. But with that being said, I'm going to read you guys the Jets' upcoming schedule for 2016, and I want you to really, really think this through before or going after Fitzpatrick, because we truly need a quarterback when I read this schedule to you guys. This is not going to be in order. I'm just going to read the home games first. We're going to be playing the Buffalo Bills, obviously, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. Then we play the Baltimore Ravens, which I feel like has improved. Cincinnati Bengals, if they keep up what they did last year, that's a heck of a game as well. Then we got the LA Rams, where I don't feel like they're a significant team whatsoever. The Seattle Seahawks, that's also another questionable team because Marshawn Lynch is no longer there.
Yeah, Irvin, that still is a tough.
Irvin as a linebacker has left Seattle. Then we got the Colts. I just can't see the Colts having another awful year like they did have last year. And then away, we play Buffalo, Miami, and Patriots, obviously. We got the Browns, Steelers, Cardinals, Niners, and the Chiefs.
Very tough. Very tough schedule.
That's a heck of a schedule.
Absolutely.
You can't go in there with not having a
decent
quarterback. And no way in hell am I going back to Geno Smith, and I will not regress the team. And now my brother's going to read the Giants schedule.
Yeah, guys, and this is not going to be in order, just home and away. Dallas, Philadelphia, Washington. These are at home: Dallas, Philadelphia, Washington, Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Cincinnati, New Orleans. Away, we're playing again Dallas, Philadelphia, Washington, Green Bay, Minnesota, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles Rams. I think I'm not saying we have an easy schedule, but we do have a favorable schedule. Our away games are a little bit tougher than home games, but still are winnable games. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to this New York Giants team. I think they're improved, and I think they're ready to go.
I guess I have two questions. One, it's really not much of a question, and it's so unpredictable. How healthy do you think this Giants team is going to be next season?
I don't know. It's been the past 3 years. It's been a disaster, man. We've had the worst, injury track record of any team. We've been hit every year. Especially our secondary has been devastated with injuries every year. So I can tell you how healthy we're gonna be. But I'm just, crossing my fingers and hoping we're gonna stay healthy.
How old is Eli now?
I have no idea.
Means he's what, 30? Look that up for me. My only question is, and again, I'm not doubting his performance, but you're a Giants fan. You've seen more Giants games than I have. Where in his career do you feel like he was at his peak? One, and how much does he still have left in the tank?
Not much, because I just looked it up. He's 35 years old. He's 35. He's 35 years old, man. So I would say he has probably 2 more years left in his.
Are we talking about two more good years? Really?
Yes, 2 more good years left in his in the tank. Give him a good offensive line. He got 2 more good years left. I mean, I wouldn't count on it after 37.
Honestly, I'm surprised you're being that grateful. I think
I mean,
35 is the
I
limit.
don't think he is Tom Brady. I don't think he's his brother. But I would say 37 would be. I mean, the Giants need to start thinking about a quarterback
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
To have him groomed under him for a couple of years. Before it's done with Eli. So you know, yeah, I'm shocked. I really thought he was younger, but 35. This kind of hits me right now. It's
Yeah.
like a slap in the
Shit,
face.
you sitting there thinking the
I
Jets
know.
have a
I'm
bad.
like, oh man. Yeah. So yeah, guys. I think we got 2 more years to give this guy a chance to give us another, hopefully a Super Bowl year.
I don't know. I mean, here's what I'm looking at. The guy's 35 years old. You're bringing a new head coach. I mean, I'm assuming it's a newer system for him. Did the offensive coach stay, or did he bring a new
Yeah. Well,
offensive?
no, that is the offensive coach. That is the head coach
Oh,
right
okay,
now.
okay,
So I don't think it's a new system for him. It's going to be the same system.
yeah. Oh,
They're
well,
gonna go.
that's right, that's right. They brought him
Yeah,
in because he
exactly.
was more comfortable. I'm sorry.
Ben McAdoo, because he played under him. So I don't think anything is going to change for him. So I think everything is going to be the same. So we don't have the issue of him getting used to the offense and all that. So like I said, just give him an offensive line and the weapons that he needs. And listen, we the way it looks like it, we might have only 2 more years. And I really don't know what is the plan for the future right now because I don't see really anybody. I haven't seen anybody that really would be able to back him up.
Well, I think that's also another weak point for the GM that's been in the Giants. I feel like this year he tried everything to save his job. I mean, so far he's done a good job of going out there and buying a defensive team, but that just kind of goes to tell you there hasn't been much planning for the
Oh, he's
future.
been horrible in drafting. I mean, there's no question that his draft has been horrible. I mean,
And that's where I'm so proud of the Jets' new front office with Mike McKagan because usually we would go out there and just throw money at a player and just call it an easy fix and not really think about the future because you got to look at the cap space and the amount of money to spend because I don't want us to go out there and spend too much because again we can't keep franchise tagging Muhammad Wilkerson. I think next season we're going to have to look into really giving him a lengthier deal because our defensive line can't just rely on Leonard Williams. But again, if there isn't much you want to input on the Jets and the Giants situation, I'd like to go ahead and start wrapping it up. Is there anything else you want to add? Or?
yes, I do. I want to throw in some of the Knicks,
Yeah.
some Knicks over here. Um, yeah, guys, we haven't really talked much about Knicks because there is not much to talk about. Um, it has been horrible. It started good, and then it started going sour. Derek Fisher got fired. It turned out that he wasn't focused on the team. It turned out that he was worried about other things beside, the team. We got Kurt Rambis now, and I hope that he's not going to stay next year. I hope that Phil Jackson will give a chance to somebody like Tom Thibodeau. Maybe Kevin Ollie, maybe Scott.
Listen,
Anyway, the point is, listen, we still do trust in Phil. I hope he takes that cap money that we have and spend it wisely. I don't know what direction he's gonna go.
I don't want to really get into the Knicks, but since you open up a can of
Warm.
Knicks shit, I apologize for my language, but I got to get into this. I mean, in Phil we trust. Don't get me wrong. I feel like he has built a substantial. He's built a core team. He hasn't went out there and traded so many draft picks. My brother and I looked up the future draft picks for the New York Knicks. We don't
Basically
really get
nothing.
we don't get a solid draft pick till 2018. That goes to tell you how this team has been run, before Phil Jackson. So give the man some time. But do I feel like Phil comes off a little bit? Again, I don't know this guy personally. I only read articles, just like you guys do. But he does kind of come off like he is built. I mean, he's set in his own ways, and he's a little stubborn. and that kind of bothers me because do I kind of want to see us expanding a little bit more out of the triangle offense? Yes. And B, do I feel like he will go out there and try to get an experienced coach, or is he just going to want to,
Bring another project.
yeah, bring another project? And I don't know if we can afford that at this moment.
No, we can't. No, we can't. But listen, I mean, that's the thing, though. I'm not gonna question somebody like Phil Jackson. I'm not in the position to question anyone like Phil Jackson. His knowledge of basketball is more than all the New York fans put together. So the only thing we're gonna talk about is, yes, I don't think we can afford having another project. This team is gonna need an experienced coach, and I don't think Kurt Rambis is the answer. Hopefully it will be Mark Thibodeau. I love Mark Thibodeau. I mean, Mike, right?
Yeah.
Mark Jackson would be another good choice. I would love that. Kevin Ollie. I would love to see Jeff Van Gundy back in MSG. I don't think it ever happens because him and Phil Jackson really won't get along. But listen, the Knicks this year have won 28 games. They already won 11 more games than last year, okay? We got about 16 or 17 more games left, or 15, something like that, I don't know. If we win 7 or 8 more games and we end up the season with 35, 36 wins, this is about, 19, 20 games improvement compared to last year. To me, it is a successful season. Look at the Milwaukee Bucks. They did the same thing. 2 years ago, they were the worst. They come up the next year, they won 15 or 16 more games. And now look at them. They are a contender, in the East. Even though East is very soft. But the Knicks win 17, another 18 extra games this year. Come back next year, add another 10, 12 games. They are a playoff team. And that's what Phil Jackson said at the beginning. Said, we got to get better. It's not a one-day trip. We got to come. We got to win games. We got to make it to playoffs. We have some playoff experience under our belt. Then we're going to become a championship team. Okay? So look at the process. The team already won 11 more games. Add 5 or 6 more. Yes. Next year, add 10 more to the top of that. That is a playoff team. Win a round or 2 rounds of playoffs. Yes, add another piece. Now you have a championship team.
I think.
Okay, you have to be patient. I mean, that is what the plan is. We New York fans can't have a quick fix every time. What has quick fix done for us the past 10 years?
It's cost us draft picks.
Has cost us draft picks. Has cost us the future. Has cost us what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's not be all, jumping over Phil Jackson, what he's doing, the coaching, yes. So I'm not going to say everybody does mistakes. I'm not going to even say that was a mistake by hiring Derek Fisher, but
here's the thing. I think Knicks fans in general just have to get their priorities straight. I think when we sit there and talk about, us doing better, I mean, I don't get it. Do Knicks fans want to win a championship? Because that's not realistic. Look at the West right now. The West is loaded. I don't think any team in the East really truly has a chance of winning a championship. And for us Knicks fans to go out there and talk about that, that's not realistic at all. But if you want to talk about year-to-year improvements, like I said, listen to what my brother just said. We have won 16 to 18 games more than we did last.
So far 11.
I'm sorry, 11 games.
But we have about 16 more games left
compared to last season. That's definitely an improvement. Now, the other thing I do want to talk about is, can we get over the Melo situation? I truly don't think he's going to go anywhere. He's going to stick it around in New York. And again, I'm not saying he is going to be the foundation for us to win a title. I think building around Porzingis is definitely the number one thing to do. And Melo is just going to be another significant piece of that lineup for us to be able to win it. The number one problem that the Knicks truly have, and this is not a mystery at all, is the point guard. Yeah, backcourt and a point guard. We need a good point guard. I mean, Calderon offensively, he's been decent this year. I'm not gonna, especially the past 5 games, but if you truly sit and watch a Knicks game, it really comes down to his defense. He makes too many mistakes on defense. He can't keep up with the brighter stars, younger stars in the league. We definitely need to go out there and get a point guard. I mean, right now, if you look at the standings in the East, you got Cavs at 1, Raptors at 2, Celtics at 3, Heat 4, Hawks 5, Charlotte 6, Pacers 7, Bulls 8, and the Knicks are sitting at, what is it, 13 in the East. How many games back from making the playoffs?
No, it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not about sitting here and saying, okay, we need to make the playoffs. It's about, okay, how far have we come from last year? I think the one thing that worries us Knicks fans is when stuff like this happens, where the coach gets fired or the coach is not concentrating on the team, and it just makes it seem like, okay, we're regressing, but really we're not. We just need a coach that comes in and brings some sort of a discipline to the
Listen,
team
yeah, I
on the
mean,
court.
I would think that this was experiment for Phil Jackson that failed, and thank God it failed quickly, because now
But he pulled the trigger. That's the
exactly
thing. He pulled
that's
the
the thing,
trigger.
that he pulled the trigger at the right time, and now he can go out there and look for an experienced coach, and like Melo said, yes, it's good to give Kurt Rambis a chance, but as he expect and as us Knicks fan expect, we want Phil Jackson to go over there and interview and have a coaching competition for this team. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, yes, we've been bad. The organization hasn't been good, but who really doesn't want to coach the Knicks? I mean, there've been reports out there that Thibodeau will actually crawl into the Madison Square Garden. I'm not going to say he will crawl, but I would say he would love to coach the Knicks.
Yeah.
So the question is, you got to give the other candidate a chance, okay? I really don't want to see a Luke Walton. I don't want to see Brian Shaw. I want somebody that when he says something, everybody listens.
I thought Thibodeau, if he had a healthy team in Chicago, he would have won a title.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
With Rose being consistent and staying healthy, I think they definitely had a chance.
Listen, and think about this. Thibodeau coached in New York. Thibodeau was assistant to Jeff Van Gundy during the 90s. Okay? So he knows New York. He knows the pressure, and he wants to coach the Knicks. Give the guy a chance.
Here's a question I'd like to put out there to our Knicks Bros TV subscribers. Leave your comment down below. Also follow us on Twitter. The question is, we've seen an improved Lakers team this season, especially the last 10 games. Russell has definitely been more efficient. I guess my question to you guys is, which one out of the two had selected the better player? Or is it Russell or Porzingis? A. And B, which team are you more excited about of watching? Is it going to be the Knicks team with, obviously, Porzingis having a pretty good rookie year, Aaron Aflalo, Lopez, Galloway, and etc.? Or is it going to be the Lakers team of, Russell, also Clarkson? We're talking about Randall. We're talking about Nance Jr. I mean, which team do you feel like has a brighter future as far as those teams are concerned? Now, D, I would like you to answer that question. I mean, which team do you feel like?
I'm not going to hesitate. Knicks.
Why so?
Because I'm a Knicks fan.
No, I mean, really, just why so?
No, really, because I'm a Knicks fan. Because I think all those players that you mentioned, you put together, don't have a half of the talent of KP. Okay? So you put Clarkson, Russell, and Nance Jr. together, they are not going to be half as talented as KP. And KP is a building block. You don't hear anybody out there saying, I am excited to see Russell play, or I want to go play alongside of Russell. But you hear people complimenting, calling somebody like KP unicorn of the league by Durant. He's getting complimented by Paul Gasol. He's getting compliments by Anthony Davis. He's getting complimented by whoever that plays against him, whoever that watches him. Have you read one article that one of these players said anything about Russell, Clarkson, or Nance Jr.?
I've heard about Clarkson.
I haven't heard anything about
Well,
Clarkson.
it's because you don't.
Because you are just like the Lakers.
No.
You know, sometimes I haven't heard anything about Clarkson. Please pull up an article that Kevin Durant, Pau Gasol, or Anthony Davis, or anybody in that type of stature said anything about Clarkson.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
Well, there is none.
There is.
There is none.
Are you
There
kidding
is
me?
none.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's
I'm
not
not
get
gonna
into
say I'm not gonna say he's not an exciting player, a good player, but he is nowhere close to KP's caliber.
All right. That's your.
All right?
That's your
that
next.
is
comment.
not open. That is a fact.
All right. One thing I do want to mention is Porzingis. Why does he always get the worst nicknames? Unicorn of the league or the Zinger? I mean, none of that stuff is. We got to come up with a better nickname for him. If you have a good nickname for KP, please leave your comment down below.
Listen,
we'll
my
definitely
friend,
contact him.
as long
behalf
as
of
he
Knicks
can
Bros
play,
TV.
any nickname works. Zinger, Unicorn, KP, whatever works, my friend. Just improve, become better, gain some weight. You'll be all good, mate.
Okay, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I know we went overboard, but we love doing this, especially if the topics heat up. And we haven't done this for a while, so we definitely had a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, or a lot went on in the free agency for the Jets and Giants. We're looking forward to the draft to see what other moves those two teams will make. We'll stay in tune in the saga for the quarterback situation in New York Jets, and my brother finally finding out the age of Eli Manning, and he's nervous.
I am very nervous, guys. If you saw me right now, I am very nervous. I need to drink lots of water. I need to start looking at the draft for the next couple of years to see if anybody decent is available. Because I don't know if Nassib will do it.
All right. Again, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to Knicks Bros TV. Leave us your comments. Share the videos if you like them. Definitely follow our Twitter page. Again, it's just two brothers, regular average Joes that just love New York sports in general. Again, thanks again. I'll let my brother finish it off.
Guys, yes, thank you. Definitely share the videos. Like our Facebook page, our videos on YouTube. Share the videos. We love doing this. We do get heated sometimes, but it is what it is. It is a New York sport. We have two different opinions when it comes to Jets and Giants. We have sometimes two different opinions when it comes to the Knicks. And the baseball season starts, we definitely will have two different opinions about Yankees and Mets. So thank you again. Stay with us, be patient, and like our page. Have a wonderful day.